Okay, let's get this started. This is going to be my first video of this nature. If you look through my channel, you'll find a bunch of Toontown streams and Smash Bros videos that I uploaded directly from the Wii U. Yeah, kind of diversifying my content. Okay, let's start this with a preface. I am not left-wing, and I am not right-wing. I am neither. Of course I'm not right-wing. That political party doesn't exactly benefit me. And the left-wingers, despite claiming they benefit people like me, don't. Trust me, I'll get to it. But let's just start at the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to have this linked down in the description below. It is a Tumblr page. It's like this gender support, gender fluid support. It's ridiculous. Let's get this right out of the way. To the left there, if you go to the page, you'll see the FAQ, the gender master list, and the orientation master list. Now, what we're going to be going to is the gender master list, because I have no problem with the orientation master list, and you'll see why in a second. If you go to the gender master list, you will see a page filled to the brim with gender after gender that doesn't actually exist. And I'll tell you why. Because I can hear it in the comments typing now. Oh, yes, you have no support for the gender queer. I don't even know what you call it. You know, you guys are denying science. I have no problem with you saying you sexually identify as a toaster. Because you know what? That's based on your personal feelings, your personal experience. Scientists cannot determine your orientation for you. Are we on the same page? Are we clear? But then you've got gender. Gender is biological. Gender is determined. You do not determine it. But people like to claim otherwise. There are 2 genders, 3 if you count trans, and 4 if you count undefined. Male, female. Now with trans, some people might argue that going from male to female means it's still 2 genders, but to me it's legitimate nonetheless. And then undefined, which is not those 100 plus genders you have listed there. Why trans counts to me and not anything else is because you can actually get surgery to go from one gender to the other, and thus trans is a legitimate gender. It is biologically possible. Your 100 plus genders based on feelings or having multiple genders that you cannot define are impossible. You want to act like it isn't, and I don't know why. And that's my first point, but now we're on to number 2, and this is the one that actually kind of gets me pretty angry, is a lot of the protests going on at colleges nowadays. I'm sure you've seen it in the news somewhere, protests everywhere, students demanding tons of things from their campuses. It's ridiculous. It's a bunch of whining, it's a bunch of complaining, because they're not getting their way. It's not racism, it's them being denied what they want. It's not what they deserve, it's what they want, and there's a big difference. People, they're protesting safe spaces. Like, people of color in campuses are demanding that they be segregated from white students. Martin Luther King Jr. is rolling in his grave, watching his life's work get blown up into flames because a bunch of whiny little babies who think they're being oppressed when they're actually in one of the best campuses in the world. And that's what gets me. You guys can afford to go to college. You clearly aren't oppressed. You have money. Lots of it. You're in this big campus that costs a lot of money. Why are these social issues a thing? They aren't. You act like they are. They aren't. Plain and simple. I don't understand it. Like, they're reversing everything. We're going back to segregation, which is racist. I guess you people don't know what the definition of racist is. I'm gonna link that down in the description below too, so you can figure it out on your own. But that's the thing, though. There's no arguing with these people. You say something like that, and then my guess is that they'll say something like, "Oh, but white people wrote the encyclopedia." Facts don't matter to them. It's all about an ideal. They push that ideal beyond its limit. They hurt others in the process, but it doesn't matter because their magical ideal is just around the corner when it'll never actually happen. But then pushing it to happen is hurting others, despite what they say where they're protecting them. They speak for others when they didn't never ask to be spoken for. They trample others over by protesting. You're being racist. You're not being as blatant about it as the KKK is. But you're still being pretty blatant about it, if you ask me. It's a racist chant that's somehow been turned into social liberation. And it's ridiculous, quite frankly. This is something I had to tack on at the end because I felt it was very necessary. The comparison between Christians and the social justice warrior, as I've been describing in the past few minutes. You guys go against each other a lot. I'd say you're pretty much at war. But you guys aren't so different, quite frankly. Yeah, Christian extremists and social justice warrior extremists are sort of the same. They both fearmonger to get what they want. They both propose an ideal instead of actual logic. They have others ignore logic by pursuing an ideal. You guys are both very idealistic. You guys are both fearmongers. You guys are not as different as you claim to be. Figured I might as well put this at the end because I feel it's something people need to know. You know, if you don't like crazy Christians, you're not going to like social justice warriors either because they act the same, despite being at war with one another. They're conflicting ideologies, but they go the same way about these ideologies. It's, you know, if you don't like one, you're not going to like the other, and that's as simple as I wanted to make it. That's all I've got. I don't know why I listed number 2, since I only had 2 things. But expect more videos like this, because this was actually sort of fun for me. And that smile is probably going to be turned into a meme. So, this is Brendan McGrath, the Red Robin, and I will see you guys another time.